a weekly program about important issues and events in the two Virginias.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this edition of In Focus. This morning, we are talking about a concert coming to the historic Granada Theater in Bluefield, West Virginia on Thursday, March 9th. The concert is Free Fallin', the Tom Petty Concert Experience. Joining me now in the studio is Nicole Thompson. She's the House Manager and Programming Director for Bluefield Arts and Revitalization Corporation, also known as BARC. Nicole, it's always great to have you here in the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you here. Also joining us right now via Zoom from near St. Paul, Minnesota is Mark Larsen. He's the band manager and drummer. So Mark, we appreciate you joining us as well. And Nicole, I'll start with you. How did you secure Free Fallin', the Tom Petty Concert Experience for the Granada Theater?
Well, I had a suggestion from a person in the community who was interested in perhaps bringing a Free Fallin' tribute band here, and I happen to know these guys. We have a mutual friend in their booking agent. Of course, I'm from Minneapolis, St. Paul area, so we have a lot of mutual friends, and I happen to know that this band travels the country, has been for 15 years, playing Tom Petty, and they're just great. So this is, I think, the best representation of a Tom Petty tribute band that's out there. So I'm thrilled to have them here. It's going to be great.
And so let's talk about the details of the event. It's coming up on Thursday, March 9th. Let's talk about the time, how much tickets are, and what folks can expect.
Sure, it's Thursday, March 9th. Doors open at 6. The concert starts at 7 o'clock. The tickets are $25. You can get them at bluefieldgranada.com. They are for sale right now. Yeah, so we'll have cash bars there, and it's just going to be a fabulous night of music, so be sure to come on out. You can sing all your favorites Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers tunes. So
that's going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
Can folks purchase tickets at the door that night,
Yes,
too?
absolutely, yes.
Okay. And Free Fallin', the Tom Petty Concert Experience, has toured all around the U.S., as Nicole mentioned it, for more than 15 years now. So let's bring in Mark Larsen. He's joining us again from near St. Paul, Minnesota. So Mark, where exactly has your band toured?
Well, we've played all over the country. We just got back from New York City. We played in Manhattan we were there for a week. We get to Florida just about every year. I've got shows booked in Southern California and Arizona. We're going to Texas a couple times this year. We're real excited about coming down to the West Virginia area. We love it down there. A lot of really, really good Tom Petty fans in your area.
Yeah, there definitely are. So what can folks expect if they've never been to one of your concert experiences? Do you sing all the Tom Petty songs? Like, what can they expect that evening?
Yeah, we do. We're going to be doing a 90-minute concert there. Of course, in 90 minutes, every song we play is going to be a hit. Tom Petty had a 50-year history, and I forget how many albums he put out, but 90 minutes, every song is a hit. Even folks that aren't real big Tom Petty fans are going to recognize every song.
And Mark, what has been your most memorable experience on the road in the past 15 or so years?
Well, the best one was, and this is kind of a sad story, but Tom Petty died in 2017, and 2018 they dedicated a park to him in his hometown of Gainesville, Florida. And they had a big birthday party for him. And they invited us down to be the premier performer for that event. And so we got to go down and meet Tom's ex-wife and one of his daughters and his brother and all the guys from the Mudcrutch band that he played in and, in and out of high school when they were kids were all there. I guess they tell me that 26,000 people showed up for that party. It was a lot of fun, and it was very moving to be part of that.
Wow, I bet that was an incredible experience down in Florida as well. Will this be your band's first time performing in Bluefield, West Virginia?
Yes, it is. We've been down that way a little bit. We've played in Tennessee and Virginia and West Virginia in the past, but never in Bluefield.
And I'll bring back in Nicole for this next question. Mark was saying that there's a lot of Tom Petty fans around here, and I think that's true. In the two Virginias, I'm sure there's a lot of Tom Petty fans. Why do you think it's important to have this band in particular perform at a venue like the Granada?
Yeah, well, the Granada Theater is such a beautiful historic theater. I know you've been there several times, and the experience of being there is very unique. It's not like going to a newer theater, although those are wonderful as well in their own way, but this is really special. especially to bring back these tribute bands, bring in these tribute bands who are playing really great nostalgic music that everybody loves. And as you said, there are plenty of Tom Petty fans around here. So I think it's not only the band itself, which is going to be fantastic, but also just the match of the band in this venue. It's pretty special.
Right, and the acoustics inside the Granada as well, Nicole. I heard Envision play there last August, and it's amazing to be inside the venue and hear the acoustics. That goes a long way for them.
It certainly does. And, you know, those older theaters, you know, they really knew how to build them.
Yes.
So that the acoustics sound great, and it just adds to the joy of the whole thing, and it's going to be super, super fun. I mean, really, if you're just looking for something to do, this is the place to be on Thursday, March 9th for sure. Don't miss it.
Yeah. Well, we do have to take one more quick break. We'll have more questions for Nicole, and we'll bring Mark back in right after this break. Stay with us. Good morning and welcome back to this edition of In Focus, everyone. This morning we are talking about an upcoming performance at the historic Granada Theater in Bluefield, West Virginia. Free Fallin, the Tom Petty concert experience. Joining me once again is Nicole Thompson with the Bluefield Area Revitalization Corporation, or BARC. Also joining us via Zoom all the way from near St. Paul, Minnesota is Mark Larsen. He's the band's manager and drummer. Hey Mark and Nicole, it's great to have you in the studio as well. So Nicole, I'll start with you. The Granada has held all kinds of events since it reopened to the public. So why is it important to have an event just like this coming up on March 9th for the public?
Yeah, well, we've been working really hard to program things, as I've been saying since the beginning. We try very hard to program something for everyone. So a lot of variety. We've had everything from, we have had a comedian in there now, we had theatrical productions in there, we've had live music concerts, of course, movies. And so I really love that opportunity and I guess challenge to try to really find things that are just appealing to every person out there. So, I mean, if you see something that interests you, then please come out. And if next week maybe it doesn't interest you, just keep watching, you know, because we're trying to bring a really big variety of things.
Right, and the best place to go would be the Granada's website to learn the latest information.
Yes, bluefieldgranada.com. And I don't know if Mark and the band know this, but they're joining the ranks of some fabulous performers that have performed in that theater historically. Many years ago, you know, it was the home for Marian Anderson, for example, the contralto soprano that sang in there many years ago. And there's tales of Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby and Duke Ellington and people like that who have played in Bluefield. And so this is a real hub for people to come through. Lots of entertainers have come through here because of our location. So it's pretty neat to think that they'll be joining the ranks of some incredible performers.
Yeah, for sure.
I read through the history a little bit, and I was real impressed with the list of performers that have been there over the years. It's an amazing, amazing facility.
Yeah, and we're excited to have you come to the Granada and join those list of performers, Mark, you and your band. So share with our viewers, what do you do to get ready for a performance like this, or really any performance when you're out traveling? You mentioned you were in New York City recently. How does your band get ready for your performances as far as rehearsals?
Well, we, you know, have our daily routine for the load-in, setup, sound check, and all that kind of stuff. We also, everybody in the band has their warm-up routines, you know, stretching and playing the scales and doing what you do to get limber before a show. We're really excited about being there, so the excitement level will be with us.
And your band has been around for about 15 years or so. How did the band form in the first place?
Well, we started off, I'm the original member of the band. And by the way, 4 of the guys that I have to this day started with me. It's been almost 17 years. So I've got 4 of 6 players have been with us right from the beginning. But it started with our original lead singer, and he was a bass player in a cover band that I was in. And somebody mentioned he looked a little bit like Tom Petty and thought it'd be kind of cool if we did some Tom Petty songs. Yeah, one thing led to the next, and we decided to put together a Petty tribute, and you know, history is what it is. It's everything just kind of happened.
So, Mark, how many members are in your band? And then, like, how often are you all touring? Are you going out to various cities every single year? Is it every few years, or how does that work for your tours?
Yeah, there's 6 players in the band. If you look at us on stage, we look exactly like what you would have seen Tom Petty look like. We have a utility player, Scott Thurston, that does keyboards and guitars and mandolins and harmonicas, and of course we have a bass guitar, a lead guitar, and a keyboard player that plays the grand piano and a great big Hammond organ that we bring around with us. And then, of course, there's the lead singer, Tom Petty, and myself. And if you looked at a picture of us on stage and looked at a picture of Tom in 2017, you might not be able to tell us apart.
Yeah, I bet some of our viewers wouldn't be able to tell the difference, really, especially if it's that
Right.
similar, with the look of the bands.
And at the show, if you closed your eyes and listened, you'd swear to God that it was Tom Petty on stage. We have all the guitars and keyboards and all the instruments to reproduce that 40 years worth of music.
That's just incredible. So, Mark, share with our viewers, how did you become a drummer? When did your love for music start?
Well, I actually started, I did my first pro gig as a musician when I was 12. I was a horn player back in my youth. And I kind of drifted away from the music industry. I went to college and went into business. And later in life, had some opportunity. I had some time in my hands and decided to start playing again. So I bought a drum set and started playing music again. And that was 30 years ago now. So it's been a fun trip.
And Mark, you're also the band's manager, so it sounds like you stay really, really busy. So share with us your role as what you do with managing the band as well.
Well, we do, we like I said earlier, we do travel the United States. We do about 100 shows a year. It's a full-time job managing the band. There's transportation and hospitality to worry about. I have a music director that helps me with all the details with the arrangements and all that type of thing to go into making the music right. I got a wonderful group of guys that I work with. I just can't say enough good about each and every one of them contributes to what the people in Bluefield are going to see on stage that night. Everybody's got a part in it, and it's just a wonderful performance of Tom's music.
And Mark, I know your band has a website. Do you also have a YouTube page or some more social media information you could share with our viewers ahead of the 9th for them to get excited and learn more about your band?
Yeah, the website's the easiest way in. I've got a great website. It's www.freefallin, that's FREEFALLIN.US, freefallin.us. And from there, you can link to our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And there's videos there and all kinds of great photos and information about the band and our tour and our history. And it's really a good website.
All right, thank you for sharing that, Mark. And I'll bring in Nicole back in for the next question. So this event is sponsored by Grant Supermarkets and Cole Auto Mall. Why are sponsors crucial for an event like this?
Well, absolutely. So as in entertainment, in arts entertainment, there's a general rule that your ticket sales cover about 25% of your costs. So it's really important that we do have support from the business community, and also in order to keep the ticket price affordable for people to be able to come and enjoy these performances. So we really appreciate our sponsors, incredibly wonderful people and helpful to us. So it's basically a matter of being able to bring this to our community and keep the ticket prices affordable for people, and also just be able to just to build our audience and build our future at the Granada Theater. We're very excited.
Right, and not just here in Bluefield, but around the region.
Correct, yes.
So let's talk again about those ticket prices and again, just the details of the event in case folks missed that earlier.
Sure, it's Thursday, March 9th. The doors open at 6 o'clock. The concert starts at 7. It's about a 90-minute show. The tickets are $25, and you can buy them online at bluefieldgranada.com right now, or you can get them that evening at the door.
Okay, fantastic. And I'll bring in Mark for this next question. So, Mark, would the website be the best spot for folks to go if they're looking to see where else your band might be performing, if they'd like to catch the next performance, if they come to the Granada and just love what they see?
I couldn't catch all that question.
Sure. So if they really love the performance at the Granada on March 9th and they want to see where else your band might be touring this year, like what other cities and places, would that website be the best place for them to see where else you're going?
Yeah, absolutely. The website's got a great calendar on it, bands in town calendar. Everything's listed there. We are going to be in the area over the weekend. I think we're down in a couple of, I think we're in Tennessee and Virginia on this trip. So there might be an opportunity to come and see us if you miss us at the Granada.
All right. Well, fantastic. Mark, thank you. We have to take one more quick break, but we'll be right back with more right after this. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to this edition of In Focus. This morning, we've been talking about an upcoming performance happening at the historic Granada Theater in Bluefield, West Virginia. It's happening on a Thursday night, so exciting stuff. That's Thursday, March 9th. The concert is Free Fallin, the Tom Petty Concert Experience. Joining us once again, Nicole Thompson and Mark Larsen. Mark is the drummer and band manager. He's joining us via Zoom from near St. Paul, Minnesota. So we're seeing some beautiful images of the historic Granada as well. So the acoustics we were talking about earlier, Nicole, it's just beautiful there. And Mark, I also want to hear from you on when you're on stage with your band, what gets you excited? Is it like the audience getting up and moving? What gets you and your band just going when you're on the stage?
Well, it's an interesting question. It's one of those things I think every performer experiences, and I know Nicole's probably experienced this. There's a flow of energy that it's hard to describe that happens between a musician and the audience. And that, I'm talking about it right now, and the hair in my arms is standing up. It's one of those things it's just hard to describe, but it's the audience is always so into this. Tom Petty's music speaks to everybody, and the flow of energy from the audience to the stage is absolutely amazing. We start our show, it's 90 minutes. For me anyway, it feels like we're getting done and we just started. There's the passage of time doesn't exist when you're performing.
And Mark, what is your favorite thing about performing? What if you had to pick one thing? I'm sure there's several. Like you mentioned, you get kind of like goosebumps even thinking about it and the energy from the audience. But what is your favorite thing if you had to pick one thing about it?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I've got a wonderful group of guys that I work with. These musicians are world class, and the camaraderie that we have, and the fact that we lock in so much on the music that. That has to be my favorite thing, is being part of that collective that produces the sound that comes out of those speakers. Everything this band does is organic. We don't have any backtracks or any help of any kind. It's all live music. And just the fact that the band is so together and everybody's playing with each other, and it's just wonderful.
And Nicole, it takes a lot of behind the scenes work to get bands to come here. Let's talk about the effort just to get them to come here and just what goes into securing a band from start to finish to say, okay, they're going to perform, setting up the date, the time, everything.
Sure, well, we just start by evaluating the act and just determining whether or not it's a good fit for our venue based on the size of the band and the music that they play and the community desires and what they will come out to hear. So that's kind of how we start things, and then we basically reach out to them, to the band, and talk about the details of the agreement, and then it just kind of rolls out from there. And then we want to make sure that they're housed while they're here and they're fed while they're here, and we love to have guests come and just hope to roll out the red carpet for them when they come.
Yeah, definitely. And like Mark was touching on, you're also a performer yourself, so I'm sure you can relate to some of what he's talking about the experience on the stage. And what also has it been like for you to watch bands like come to the Granada and perform there, and to see the audience, like their facial expressions and them getting up and moving? What's it been like for you to see that too?
Oh my gosh! So the greatest experience ever is having the people come and see music. For example, when we had the West Virginia Jazz Orchestra in there in December, they did a holiday concert, and there were 500 people that came, and they all got in the holiday spirit at the same time. And everybody left, and I stood at the door, and I said goodbye to everybody as they left. But everybody was so happy, smiling, in good spirits, and I just love it. I love seeing people, and there's so many memories that have been made in that building, and I hear about that all the time when people come in there and they tell me memories of being there as a child or as a teenager, and talking about their parents met there, or lots of cool memories and stories. And so now it's so much fun to create new memories there. And so thankful that the community came together and saved this facility, because it really is a beautiful place, and just would have been a shame to see it deteriorate. So so excited, and that is honestly, I think, one of the best parts of this job is just talking to the people as they come in and watching their faces as they walk in and see the place, and they remember their great memories of being there earlier, and now we have people that get engaged under the marquee out front, and we have people that we've had children in there that have seen movies for the first time, and just really incredible experiences. And so that's one of the favorite parts, I think, for me, is just creating these experiences so that people can have great memories and attached to that place. It's really great.
Right, and getting the feedback after the fact too. I'm sure when people are like, hey, I just loved it when that band came, and it was wonderful. And then, Mark, for you, I'm sure that you've gotten a lot of feedback from fans. So what have fans said to you?
Well, you know what? There's a lot of the fans that we've been seeing lately have never had a chance to see Tom live. We're really starting to see a younger audience show up, and I hear it all the time that they're saying, "Mom, Dad listened to Tom Petty when I was a kid. I was always going to go. I never got a chance." And so I'm hearing a lot of praise and thank you from the audience for keeping the music alive.
And like Mark said, younger audiences too, Nicole.
Yes, it's fantastic.
So this event coming up at the Granada on the 9th, it sounds like it's going to be a great experience for anyone, any age group, any demographic to come out and listen.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. As I was saying, and as Mark was saying, come on out to the Granada, enjoy this great music, make a new memory for yourself, have an experience. It's just, you won't regret it. I mean, really, just especially if you haven't been there yet. I mean, you can attest to this. The first time you walk in through the doors, it's really quite stunning.
Right, it is, because you really feel like you've been transported back to a different era, and you have. It's from the 1920s.
Yeah.
And those who worked on the Granada, let me tell you, if you haven't been there, they have done a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
So whether you go check out a movie or just see a live concert experience, just to sit up there in those chairs where people sat a century ago in that same theater, it does give you chills,
I know,
though.
it is incredible. And not to mention that we do have a gelato shop adjacent to us.
Yes.
As our Movie Scoops gelato shop. So if you want to get some gelato and you can bring it into the theater with you, enjoy the music. We'll of course have a cash bars that night. So and we'll have our concessions. It's just a great place to go. And you can also, I always love to say too, you can come on downtown Bluefield. We're located downtown Bluefield. You can park your car. You can go have dinner at the Vault or at the Rail Yard or other places, and you don't even have to move your car. Just come on down, have dinner, see a show, and it's a great outing.
Right, and it's a great thing to do on a Thursday night too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Get ready for the weekend before the weekend
Exactly.
even starts.
And it's only until about 9 o'clock, so it's not too late. You'll still be able to get through Friday.
Right, and get to work, right?
Right.
Well, we're almost out of time, but Mark, one last question for you. Any concluding thoughts for our viewers? What you said really resonated with me as far as a younger audience and just folks who never got to see Tom Petty, while he was still alive. Any concluding thoughts for our viewers ahead of the performance on the 9th?
Well, I think the big message is, if you've ever heard a Tom Petty song, even one song, you're going to come to this show and you will not be disappointed. I talk to folks all the time that say, well, I knew 4 or 5 of Tom's songs, but at the end of the night, they all come back and say, I knew every song you played. So we're looking forward to that. And of course, it turns into a great big sing-along. I mean, Tom had such iconic hits that, everybody knows the words, and there's points in time where the audience takes over. It's wonderful.
And Nicole, that will be exciting to hear everyone singing along to the Tom Petty
Can't
songs.
wait, yes.
And we're almost out of time here, but concluding thoughts from you for our viewers.
You know, just come on out. Just come on out. Really take advantage of this opportunity to see a really great Tom Petty tribute act coming through Bluefield. Just take advantage of it.
Right, because it's not every day that would be happening in our city.
Exactly right. So just come on out and enjoy it. It's going to be really, really, as Mark said, you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, again, Thursday, March 9th. Doors open at 6, concert starts at 7. Like Nicole said, there's going to be a cash bar available. Tickets are $25. You can purchase them in advance. There's the website for the Granada. You can purchase them at the door, whatever works best for you. So again, I want to thank Mark Larsen and Nicole Thompson for joining us this morning. I really appreciate both of you.
Thank you.
Very, very nice to meet you both, and we look forward to making some new friends in Bluefield.
Yes, we'll see you on the 9th for sure, Mark, you and the rest of the band. All right, that does it for us this morning. We hope you all have a great day.